would start with Sun Salutations and focus on the importance of that flow of those few movements connected with your breath and how they'll benefit you in your everyday practice. So. Sun Salutations are that they warm up the full body. So because the movements are such that you're moving in all directions, they increase strength and endurance. They improve your flexibility and your coordination. They help you to link your breath to your movement, and they're good for mental focus. So with this beautiful sun coming up this morning, we'll salute the sun through Sun Salutations. So if you would take a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you today, you can sit on two blocks, make a little bench for yourself. Just elevate your hips if you're going to sit in Sukhasana, or you can lay down, whichever way you want to start your practice today. So get comfortable, just check in with your alignment. Make sure you have your blocks handy because we're going to need those later on for our practice. So sit up nice and tall, stack your vertebrae, one on top of the other. Check in with your ears, make sure they're over your shoulders. And just try to bring your focus into the room and then even further into your heart. Check in with your body, scan your body, and just see where you might be holding tension. And just relax and start to bring attention to your breath. Keep your eyes closed. Your hands can be on your thighs if you're sitting in easy seat. Try to be comfortable and just pull your shoulders away from your ears. Soften your forehead. Soften your jaw. And try to let go of those distractions that pop into your mind. And try to even out your breaths and maybe make them longer as you continue to inhale. Lifting your chest, bringing that air all the way up. And then exhale completely, pushing it out all the way down through your abdomen. Pull your belly button into your spine. Really starts to bring your attention inward. And maybe begin to lengthen your breath. Make sure it's even. So whatever your inhale count is, if you're inhaling to the count of 4 or 6, try to make sure you're doing the same on the exhale. Last breath here. Cleansing breath out. In through your nose, out through your mouth. One more time. Out through your mouth. And slowly bring your hands to heart center. Drop your chin. And maybe in yoga, sun salutations are what we call a salute to the sun. But also people connect them to life. And thinking of the day, the journey that the sun takes in the course of the day, and the sunrise, when we connect that with our lives, we can think of it as the young, our youth, maybe up to 25, when we're full of energy and unbridled excitement for everything that is potentially in front of us. And then midlife being midday, where we're working, raising families, we have responsibilities and obligations that keep us focused, and we have to find some balance. And then sunset being the older, maybe 60 plus. I'm not saying if I'm in that or not. And that's the time where we really bring our focus into meditation and reflection and really closer to that spiritual center. So maybe today you take a pause here and set your intention for whatever it is, whatever phase of the day of the sun, where the sun sets for you in this moment, and maybe bring your focus and your attention for this practice into that. And then slowly flutter open your eyes, relax your hands to your thighs, sit up nice and tall. And if you've been sitting cross-legged, maybe you want to switch your legs, stretch them out. Make sure you're comfortable and make sure you have a straight spine. And then slowly inhale, lift your arms up. Dropping your shoulders, be mindful, dropping your shoulders away from your ears, and come back to cactus on the exhale. Pulling those shoulder blades down your back. Nice tall spine. Inhale, lift. Shoulder blades, shoulders away from your ears, and then exhale, cactus. Again, lift, inhale. Exhale, cactus. Last one. Exhale, cactus. Stay here in cactus. Bring your forearms together. Pull your shoulder blades apart. And if this is too much on your rotator cuff, if you have injuries, just back off. Take it as far as you can. Exhale, pull them apart, back to cactus. There you go. Inhale, together. Be mindful of those shoulders. Exhale apart. Just kind of working our shoulder blade a little bit. Inhale together again. Keep your spine tall. Exhale out. Last one. Inhale tall. Exhale out. And then drop your arms and give yourself a big hug. Kind of pull those shoulder blades apart. And maybe even tuck your chin to your chest and forward fold a little bit to kind of stretch out the upper back. And then release your arms and then open them and hug the other way, crisscross. Whatever arm was on top, now is on the bottom. Drop your chin, same thing here. And relax. And take your right hand and start to walk it out to the side, keeping your shoulders to meet. Lift your top arm up so that your bicep is by your ear. Just a nice open stretch here on the side body, your left side body. Keep both sit bones on the earth. And if your hand doesn't feel good down here, just tent it. Or if you need a little bit more support, you can even be here on a block. Your call. And just breathe into this posture. Check your shoulders, make sure they're coming forward. Open your chest. And then inhale, use your core, come on back up. And start to walk your fingers to the left. And walk that right arm up and over so that your bicep is by your ear. Both sit bones are on the earth. Stretching out that right side body. And your head is facing forward. Just stretch that hand up a little bit more. And then walk your fingers back, engage your core, come on back up to center. Take your right hand, put it behind your right hip. Left hand on your left thigh. Engage your core. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Stay here and breathe. Remember the twist is coming from your rib cage, from your thoracic spine. Keep it a tall spine, making space between the vertebrae. And then exhale back to center. Inhale, walk that left hand behind your left hip, right hand to right thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Remember, keep that long spine so you have space between your vertebrae so you're not making any compressions. Both sit bones are on the earth, gaze is following. And then unwind. And so let's do 2 seated cat-cows here. So bring your hands to your knees and then curl your back, pull your belly button into your spine, pull your shoulder blades apart, drop your chin to your chest. And then inhale, shine your chest forward, your heart forward. And you can bring your hands all the way back if you want. Or you can wrap them around your back. And then release, come forward again. Round your back, seated cat-cow. And then open your chest. And then make your way onto hands and knees. Check your alignment here. Shoulder, hands under shoulders, fingers spread wide and active, pushing into your mat so that all your knuckle pads are evenly, the weight is distributed evenly on all of them. And your index fingers are at 12 o'clock or just slightly between 12 and 1, whatever is more comfortable for your wrists. And then knees are under hips, toes are behind knees, and you have a neutral back. And let's just take some nice, gentle cat-cows here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, arch. Pull your belly button in, shoulder blades apart. Find your own rhythm, nice and slow. Get that spine lubricated. And then take whatever movements you need. If you want to go over to the side, always explore these cat-cows so that you can really get the most benefit for opening up the spine and take it back to child's pose if you want. Roll through Chakravarkasana. Just keep this movement going. Just keep moving. Because motion is lotion, right? And then wherever you are, take your last cat-cow and then meet me in child's pose. So sink your hips, bring your knees apart, stretch your arms in front of you, and push back, toes together. Really stretch out that upper body. Reach those fingertips to the top of your mat. Sink your hips back towards your heels. And just take about 4 or 5 breaths here. And just pay attention to your breath. See if it's even, still even. If not, try to bring your focus to smoothing it out. And then slowly make your way back to tabletop. Check your alignment. Make sure your knees and toes are in alignment. And then walk your fingers towards your knees and come up to kneeling. And extend your right foot out to the side, parallel to the side of your mat, the short side of your mat. And nice and tall, arms up. Open to cactus. And then just tip like a little teapot over to the side. There you go. Keeping your shoulders and hips to me. And come back up. Use your core. And then drop that left hand to the mat. You can use your block here if you want. And get that side stretch. Keep that right shoulder, that left shoulder pulling forward. Open your chest. Breathe here. Engage your core. Come on back up. And then just bring that knee back to the mat. Get yourself set up for the other side. Inhale, lift. Step that left foot out. Toe pointing to me. Pinky side of your foot parallel to the short end of your mat. Nice and tall. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Let's just tip our teapot again. There you go. Opening up the side body. Keeping that knee pulled back but not locked. And then up. And slowly come over to the other side. Walk your hands down to the mat or use a block. Open your chest. Keep that left shoulder back. And then slowly use your core and come on back up. Hands to heart center. Walk that foot back into your mat. Grab your blocks. Put them in front of you. On the tall side. And then step your right foot up to the front of your mat. And then you can sit up nice and tall. Make sure that your front knee is over your ankle. And you can use your blocks for support. You want a straight, tall spine. Just getting a nice little runner stretch here. Breathe. And you're stretching out that psoas on your left side. And then pull back. Lift that toe up. Come down, hinge at your hips, keeping your hips forward, and feel the stretch in your hamstring and in your lower back, and then come up tall and rock forward. And keep that movement going. Be mindful to keep that front knee over your ankle and use your breath. Inhale when you're forward, and maybe exhale on the way back. And as always, you can stay in either one of these poses for longer if you like. And when you're in this hamstring stretch, you want to hinge at your hips and come forward so that you can get a deeper stretch. If that's too much for you, then just stay tall. And then I'll meet you down in front here with the bent knee. And then I want you to curl your back toe, use your block, push into your feet, and come up to crescent. So you can stay here and pull that front knee back. Drop that back heel. And just leave that forward fold. Hinging at your hips, make sure that your hips are facing forward. And just breathe here. And maybe Bend that front knee, walk that back leg in a little bit, drop that heel, push into the earth with your feet and come up. All the way up. And keep your feet separate so they're on two different tracks. And now you're in warrior one. Pushing that back heel down so that you can feel the stretch in your back calf. Bring your hands to cactus on the exhale. Hinge at your hips and start to come forward for forward fold. Use your core. Inhale, lift. All the way up. Exhale, cactus arms. Take your arms behind you, interlace them if you can. Pull those shoulders down your back, and then hinge at your hips, and just start to come forward with your arms. Let your arms go up and drop your head down. If this is not comfortable, just put your hands on your hips and come up. Push into the earth. Release your arms. One more time up. Hands to cactus. Hinge at your hips, forward fold. Grab hold of your blocks. Step your back foot up to your front and come all the way up. Hands to heart center. Shake out. Step your left foot back and come into the pose we were just in. So balance yourself where you need to be. Drop that back heel and lift straight up. So your hips and shoulders are forward. Arms are overhead. Front knee is bent. Warrior one on the other side. Good. So that back foot, the heel is kind of turned out a little bit, so it's sort of like a 45-degree angle. Both feet are on two different railroad tracks this way. And your feet are balanced. Their toes are pointing, your front toes pointing forward. Dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Bringing those shoulder blades down your back. And maybe your pinkies rotate in a little bit. Exhale, arms to cactus. Inhale, lift. We're building some heat. Exhale, cactus. Hinge at your hips. Forward fold. Check in with that front knee. Make sure it's tracking over your ankle. Grab hold of your blocks. Pull that front knee straight. And just stay here for a second and breathe. If this is too much for you, you can't pull it straight, your hamstrings are too tight, keep that bend in the front knee. And breathe. Bend that front knee. Engage your core. Come on back up. Hands overhead to heart center. And then come back down here. Bend your knee, your left knee. Your right knee, I'm sorry. Right knee. And let's start extending that, doing that same movement, stretching out our psoas. On this side. There we go. And breathe. Check in with your back, your spine. Make sure your ears are dropped. Make sure your shoulders are dropped from your ears, and you're pulling, you're hugging your shoulder blades are hugging your spine. And then start to shift your hips back. There you go. Toe up. Get that hamstring stretch. And just enjoy this flow right here. Take it back and forth a couple times on your breath. Always being mindful to keep that knee tracking over your ankle so you can see your toes. Sitting your hips back when you stretch your hamstring, keeping those hips parallel to me. And then let this be your last flow. Use your breath. And then I'll meet you in that front lunge. Crawl those back toes on your right foot. Use your blocks. Push up and step your feet together. Unwind, come all the way up. And take a minute. Maybe take a sip of water. All right, so let me begin to explain to you what Sun Salutations are. In most vinyasa flow classes, that's a yoga class where they just move from one pose to another, constantly flowing, using your breath as the rhythm of the flow. So, and they usually always start either in the mornings with a sun salutation to welcome the new day, or to begin any practice. And like I said, there's all kinds of benefits for sun salutations because it moves your body in all different directions. So we're going to start with alignment. We're going to always start with Tadasana, our mountain pose. So in some classes, people will tell you to put your toes together with your heels slightly apart. The most anatomically safe way to do it is to keep your feet under your hips, right? So you need at least hip distance apart. And you want your knees and your hips, your ankles, all to be in alignment, and you want them tracking towards me. Shoulders are pushed down your back, your shoulder blades, and you're engaging your core, and there's a slight tilt to your pelvis so that you have a nice, long, straight spine. Your thighs are active, knees are lifted, ribs are lifted. So be careful when you lift your ribs, you don't wind up pulling your shoulders up. And you drop your arms down at your side. So super active pose. You should feel a lot of energy in this pose. And then you're going to inhale from Tadasana up and overhead to Urdhva Hastasana, which is what we call a salute. So you can put your hands to prayer hands. You can point your fingers. I've seen it done. It's many different variations of this, whatever is comfortable for your shoulders. If you feel more comfortable and you can control dropping your shoulders away from your ears better by keeping your arms shoulder width apart, that's a safer way to do it. And then you're going to forward fold by bending your knees, hinging at your hips, bringing your hands to heart center, and coming forward, dropping your head all the way down to the mat. This is where you can have your blocks in front of you, and you can rest your hands on your blocks. So you're checking your weight in your feet. You want to make sure that your big toe mound and your pinky toe mound and your heel is where you're evenly distributing the weight of your body. You're not leaning forward or backward. This is still an active pose. You can have your knees bent here. If your hamstrings are loose and you feel you can pull your knees straight and your hands can be on the mat, either tented or flat, you find your comfortable pose. Good. Drop your head, just let it dangle down, hang down, shake it yes and no. And then just find stillness in that forward fold. Great, just hang there. And then bring your hands to your shins, straighten your back, a nice flat back for a half lift. This is called Ardhva Uttasana. And then forward fold, which is Uttasana. Again, you can pull your knees back or you can leave them bent. And for now, let's just hinge at your hips and come back up. That's only the first three pieces of it, but I want to make sure you're comfortable with those. So let's do that again. Ready? I'll do it from the side so you can see me better. And I'll bring the blocks over here. So inhale, lift tall. So check in with your feet and where your weight is distributed. Maybe lift your toes, activate your thighs, pull your kneecaps up, rib cage up, shoulder blades down. Feet are hips width apart. Inhale, lift. Gaze comes up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, forward fold. Uttasana. You can grab hold of your blocks. Keep your knees bent. Inhale, flat back. That's halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now, the next pose posture is to plant your hands on the mat and step one foot back and then the other foot into plank. Now, if this is too much, take half plank. So you're either in plank, pushing those heels back, engaging your core, pulling your shoulder blades apart, and then you can come down to your knees. You can pull your arms into your shoulder, your right side, and then roll down. Thighs, hips, and chest. So let's do that again. So you're here, you're either in half plank, this way, or you're in full plank. If you're in full plank, you're going to drop your knees, bring your eyes of your elbows in so that your biceps are close to your thighs, close to your sides. Then you're going to drop your hips and all the way down. Keeping those elbows close to your side body. Gaze is straight at the mat. Push into your hands for cobra. Just a baby back bend here. And then push into your hands, come back, curl your toes under, and up for down dog. Big stretch. Couple breaths here. Keeping those biceps near your ears, pushing those hips back, pushing those heels towards the mat, stretching out those front arms. Engage your core, look forward, and begin to walk your hands, your feet to meet your hands. Or your hands to your feet. Engage your core, come back up. Bend your knees, come back up. Hands to heart center. So it's a steady flow of a few postures, and we can modify them depending on your strength and your flexibility. So I'm going to give you, we're going to do it again the way we just did it, and then I'm going to give you a much different alternative if you choose to. So come back to your Tadasana pose, your mountain pose. Check in with your body and your alignment. Nice and tall. Make sure you're rooted in the earth. We're building heat now. Inhale, lift up, all the way up to either leave your arms open or bring them in. Then bring them in, bend your knees, hinge at your hips, come down. You can come down to your blocks or the floor. Inhale to your shins, half lift, straight back, gaze down. Exhale, hands back down to Uttasana, forward fold. Step one foot, then the other, either into plank or half plank. And then come down, roll on your thighs, hips, and all the way down. Keeping your biceps close to your body, push up for cobra. Come back down. Inhale, push up and back, curl your toes. Exhale, all the way back to down dog. 3 or 4 breaths here. Push those heels down. Straight, long spine. Gaze is down. Actually, gaze is towards your shins. Then shift your gaze forward. You can tense your fingers. Wherever your flexibility is, you can bend your knees, whatever you need to do. Bend your knees now, and then come all the way up. How you doing? It feels heat, right? Okay, now I'm going to show you a modification. If plank is too much and down dog is too much, if it bothers your hands or you don't have the stretch in your hamstrings, here's another option. So inhale, find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, Ardha Hastasana. Bring your hands to your heart center, bend your knees, come all the way down to Uttasana, which is forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Now, here's your option. Forward fold, and instead of stepping back into plank, you can come back into tabletop. And instead of doing cobra and down dog, you can do cat-cow. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And then instead of doing down dog, you come back to child's pose. And then curl your toes, or stay here, and instead of walking your hands forward, you can use your blocks. Just step one foot, then the other. Hinge and come up. So your call, which version you do. So we're going to do that version one more time to make sure that you know the option. So on the second version, it's inhale to mountain, exhale to forward fold, inhale to half lift, exhale to forward fold, step back into tabletop, cat, cow, child's pose, then one foot, other foot, and up. Okay, so let's do that again. Ready? Mountain pose, nice and tall. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Uttasana, come all the way down. Drop your head. Inhale, half lift. Now we're coming back to tabletop. Forward fold, knee down, knee down. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more cow. And then back to child's pose. And then up, one leg, then the other, and all the way up. Hands to heart center. So you choose whichever version of Sun Salutation you want to do today, but we're going to do 2 or 3 of them in a row. So we really can build some heat, we can really link that breath to the movement, and we really can lubricate all those joints. So take a sip of water, get ready, and you take your version, nice and slow. Let's start again, together, ready? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, come back down. Forward fold, drop your head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, either step back into plank or to tabletop. Take your version, come all the way down. If you're coming down, take cobra. Exhale down. Inhale, push back. Curl your toes and back up to down dog. You're still in child's pose now if you're taking the other version. And then if you're in child's pose, you're walking one foot forward, then the other. If you're doing what I'm doing, you walk your feet to the front of the mat, and then come on. And down. So I'm going to use a breath call for the plank option. So you just, if you're taking the other option, you just know what you need to do when we're doing plank or half plank. Okay, ready? Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale, half lift. Forward fold. Drop your head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat, step back. Drop your knees all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, down dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale, gaze between your hands. You can even tent them. Walk your feet to meet your hands. Bend your knees. And reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands overhead. Exhale. Hold on for a minute. Take a breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees and come all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. All the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale, gaze between your hands. You can tent them, bend your knees, come all the way up. Hands to heart center. Let's go again. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All the way down. Hands to the mat, step back. Drop your knees all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, curl your toes up and back to down dog. 3 breaths here. And this time, drop your knees to the mat and come to a seated, side body position. Seated, there you go. So can you see how that builds heat? You start to feel your heart racing a little bit more, right? And you can feel your body warming up. It's so good for your cardiovascular system. It's so good on many levels. So many yoga classes start with a couple of rounds of Sun Salutations. And there are the Sanskrit name for it is Surya Namaskara. And there's Surya Namaskara A and Surya Namaskara B. But we did A with modifications today. So let's spread our legs out. Let's just get some nice stretches on the inside of your thigh. You might want to lift your sit bones so that you can sit up nice and tall. And then open those legs wide, point your toes to the ceiling. And take a minute to balance out your breath, even it out. Just focus on your breath. Nice long spine, shoulders away from your ears. Chin tucked back a little bit. And just take a breath here. And then slowly begin to hinge at your hips. Kind of do whatever organic little move you need to feel good. And just start to come forward as best you can. You can use your blocks. You can just gently stay here. You just sit here. Just you should feel the stretch on the inside of your thighs. You're kind of pushing your thighs down. You want to relax the upper part of your quads so that you can get the stretch in your hamstring. And then bring that right foot in so that it's on the inside of your thigh. Sit up nice and tall, and then twist over to your left leg and just come down, hinge at your hips for a little stretch on this side. So we're opening up this side body a little bit. Maybe grab the bottom of your foot if that's in your practice. Keep it a nice long spine. I don't want you rounding your back. And then walk your hands back up. And switch up feet. Nice long spine. Take your right hand behind your hip, twist over to the right. Make sure that toe is straight. And then grab hold of the outside of your calf if you can. And just a slight gentle twist here. And then back up. Both feet together. Again, this might be way too much for you, so you can put blocks underneath each leg. the danger here is to round your spine. So whatever you need to do, if you just need to sit in Sukhasana, just in easy seat, you can do that if this is too much for your hips. But if you are able to kind of play with this pose, just make sure your sit bones are kind of lifted and you're supporting your knees. You don't want any pain in your knees. There you go. Nice and long spine. Check in with your chin. Make sure you're not doing the turkey neck. There you go. And just take a couple breaths here. And then slowly release those heels, slide them forward, bring those knees in. Don't bring it all the way down to the mat. So let's just bring it here for boat pose. So your knees are parallel, you're sitting on your sit bones, and you're lifting your toes. Your gaze is forward. And then you could touch, tap, tap, tap. And then inhale, lift both. It's okay if it quivers a little, come down. Again, lift. Straight back, down. And this time, come all the way down to the mat. And just windshield wiper your legs. Worked really hard today. Just let your body melt into the mat for a minute. And just keep your knees flopping in and out so that you can kind of get some stretch in your lumbar spine. And then come to stillness, walk your feet back together. Keep your knees parallel. Take your block, if you have it handy, and put it between your knees, between your thighs. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your back so that your shoulders are flat on the earth. Engage your core and lift your knees, your feet off the earth. And this just extend your feet in an up the wall posture. Check in with your neck if you need to put a little blanket underneath the nape of your neck to feel comfortable, then do that. And then bend your knees, come back. Now, we're going to do a bridge, this time not supported. So be mindful of how we do this. So you're pushing in with your thighs, you're engaging your core, you're pulling your belly button down to the earth, and as you pull it down, you lift your pelvis, arch your back, pull your hip bones up, and you get a nice bridge. Pushing in with those thighs, so you're supporting your lumbar spine, and then slowly release your back all the way down, belly button to the earth, flat back, and then allow your hips to lift a little bit so that you have that curve in your back. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale, push your belly button to your spine so you flatten your back, heel up your pelvic bone so that it's coming up to the ceiling. Shine your hips all the way up. Push down through your feet. Push in with those thighs. You should feel it in your glutes. Yeah. And then reverse, come all the way down, roll down your spine, engage your core, flatten your back as you drop your hips, and then tilt your pelvic so that you have that natural curve in your lumbar spine. Ready? One more time. Inhale, pull your belly button into your spine, lift your pelvic bone, and then your hips all the way up, pushing with your thighs. Hold. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs. And then release. Exhale all the way And then take that block out and give your knees a hug and maybe rock on your lumbar spine a little bit. And then slowly take whatever pose you need, maybe a little side twist. In fact, let's do that together. Let's cross our left leg over our right leg over our left thigh. Arms are teed out. And let's just sit here for a minute. This is your supine pigeon. So you can stay here. You can grab hold of your thigh, pull forward. Your call. Feel the stretch all the way back here. Pushing that knee out a little bit. And then bring that left foot back to the earth. Take that right foot and completely rotate over to your left until that right foot comes flat on the earth. Keeping both shoulders on the mat for a side twist. Always having your blocks handy if you need to stick them under your foot or under your knee, wherever you need support, but you want your shoulders on the mat. A little twist here. And your gaze is away from your leg, so your gaze is to the right. Nice, and then engage your core, come on back up to center, switch your legs. Take your left ankle on your right thigh. Take your pigeon pose here, whether you're gonna stay here, lift it, or reach through. Pushing that left open a little bit. Couple gentle breaths here. And then slowly bring that right foot back to the earth and let that right knee drop over to the right as the left foot comes all the way down to the earth. Both shoulders are on the mat. Gaze is off to your left. So you're feeling that opening on your side body, your left side body. Remember, the block can go under your left foot, you go under your right knee, wherever you need it for support. And then engage your core, come on back up. Give your knees one more big hug, and we are ready for Savasana. And find your resting pose. And just really be mindful to be comfortable in this pose. Try not to hold tension in any part of your body. So take a minute to scan your body. Sometimes we're holding tight, we don't even realize it in our shoulders. So just let the shoulder blades melt into the mat. Let your feet flop open, let your toes just fall off to right and left. Let your hands just flop open. Try to even out your breath. so important to honor where we are in our lives. So often, we really are in the sunset of our life, but we try and want so much to be in the sunrise of our lives. And that's how we wind up with injury. That's how we wind up feeling frustrated. So if we, just like when we take our yoga postures, we honor where we are, where our body wants us to be in any given moment on any given day. So too do we have to honor where we are in our time of life. So we just need to be our best version of ourselves. And know our limitations, but push to our edge so that we really can feel the strength and the wisdom of those past experiences. So slowly begin to bring some awareness back into the room. Maybe slight movement in your body, wiggle your toes, your fingers. And when you're ready, slowly make your way onto your side. And maybe just revisit your intention for today. And take that awareness out off your mat into the world. And honor where you are. Be thankful and grateful that your body moves the way it does, that your mind is as sharp as it is, and that we have each other. And then slowly make your way to a seated posture. Eyes still closed. Hands to heart center. Chin to chest. I am so grateful for each of you every day and for sharing this practice with me. I wish you blessings and gentle hugs. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.